Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we have Rush going up against HM. I'm actually really happy to see the type of games that HM has been giving us lately. They've been very strong in every matchup, really performing well, including in the SCS. It's great to see because HM was a player that it felt like he was just about to make it into ASL about 5 years ago, and it just didn't happen. He just couldn't quite do it. So to see him in really peak form right now is good. I really want to see him do well. I think he's an exciting Zerg. I like his style overall. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring here. I feel like I've seen more HM ZVPs lately than his ZVTs. So yeah, I think that's actually true. Although I've actually played him on the ladder a little bit lately as well, and it was brutal. He's so good. But anyways, he's going up against Rush, who is just a king of Terran. Absolutely great at every type of build order, every type of strategy. So let's see what he brings. We're on Deja Vu right now. I think Deja Vu, as far as TVZ goes, there's nothing inherently interesting about it, but it's just a solid map. Yeah, I think the formation of the thirds, like these third base areas, if you look at them, where there's two entrances, but the entrances are kind of far away, it's kind of interesting. Not that hard for Zerg to defend, but it's a little bit more wide open than some other bases. You know, if you have a base like this, like a third base like this, and has a ramp going up to it, you literally just look and say, okay, that's invincible, and you don't even bother. Something like this, you could look at it as Terran and be like, okay, let's put some pressure on there. Probably not going to break it, but maybe I can do some cost efficiency and get some good kill some good units, stuff like that. So yeah, I guess that part of it is kind of cool. But other than that, nothing too out of the ordinary with Deja Vu. It's a pretty vanilla 12 base 4-player map. Well, I guess it's technically 13 base because of the center, but in this matchup, you don't ever take center from either side. All right. Looks like we're just going to have a 15 racks, just barracks into the command center without the second depot. And that has to do with Rush just scouting HM first. When you scout him first, you can skip that secondary depot and get the quicker command center. Not a lot of people have been doing that. People have been really preferring to getting additional extra Marines for potential pressure. And I actually think those pressure plays are very important right now. So how will Rush make up for that? It's not the end of the world if if you decide I'm not going to make additional early Marines and try to force extra Lings or something. That's fine. But it does feel right now like all the timings Terran used to have against Zerg no longer work. So it has to be a more consistent pressure. It's just kind of how things go in cycles, you know? Like, you might have timing attacks that open up and do really well, and as people close the windows against those timing attacks, then you want to lean more towards a consistency of pressure so that you're not just building towards a moment that then does not deliver. Instead, instead of building to a moment that wins you the game suddenly, that is what a timing attack is meant to do, you try to make your opponent just get slightly behind, and have that add up over the course of the game rather than, oh, I'm ahead and then win. If that makes sense. I haven't really tried to explain it in this way before, but there you go. A funny thing is when I'm trying to explain these types of concepts, like I think about these things all the time, but to have to say them out loud to try to explain to you guys who are watching these videos, I do appreciate that people say that they like to hear this thing because it helps me to, clarify my thinking. Like my thinking becomes a lot clearer on a lot of these subjects if I think to bring them up during one of these casts. Because, we're sitting here and we're watching, but I don't need to tell you that he has 6 speedlings here and he's not going to attack because it doesn't work. You know that. But then I can talk about some of these higher level things, and by trying to describe them in a simple way, I feel like it helps me to even understand the topics more. It's like a wonderful thing. I don't know, there's some saying about like teach something to really understand it or something like that. I don't know. But I know that this channel, ArtosisCasts, is certainly helped me to clarify my thinking and be a stronger and smarter StarCraft player. So thank you, guys. I'm glad that you enjoy. All right. Now, the Spire, you know, it's just 2-hatch Spire. This is a 3 racks Marine Medic. Very standard. This is literally the 2 most standard builds going at each other with the most current standard 3rd base location. So this is actually exactly what I want to see. If I, like... This is what I do. I don't do the wall very often, but like this is basically the build that I use like every game, and this is the build I go up against every game. So I'm like, okay, this is obviously I didn't know coming into this that this is what we would see, but Rush will hopefully teach me something about this position in the current metagame. All right, now HM coming up with his mutas. A little bit of harass at that wall. Doesn't have a lot of mutas yet. You need to have 7 before you start diving on those SCVs. Keeping tabs. One nice thing about the Quick Academy compared to the Quick +1 is you get that range out so quickly. And early range against smaller amounts of mutas is dominating. Like if you have range against 5, 6, 7 mutas, like you can crush them pretty hard. It's hard for them to truly engage. HM has really, really good micro, though. Well, he's already picked off a couple. Still pretty consistent production of those Marines and Medics. Factory has been started at a nice time. This seems to be an important thing right now in ooh, careful. In Terran vs. Zerg, a lot of the people that are doing these 3 barracks plays, they're just making sure this is started by 6:30 or so, which is good. Like 7 minutes is as late as you ever want to start that, but I think it is important to get the faster tech out right now. And in fact, he delayed +1 a lot. I think that was actually a mistake. I never see anyone... Yeah, he should have had the money. I actually wasn't paying close attention to that. But you can get this at 6:30 with that build and still have +1 going before that. So I think that was just a bit of a mistake from Rush. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Obviously, +1 is a super great build. Super great upgrade to have. So that's a little bit painful. HM right now is crushing, by the way. He is killing a lot of Marines. A lot of Marines. 2 more barracks coming up. The Singular Starport. The Singular Starport. This, my guess is he's going to get a secondary eBay, like, as soon as the Starport finishes. But because he started +1 first, that doesn't make too much sense. Okay, so HM runs in with some extra lings there to try to really knock out this Marine medic group. Ooh, gets the 2 medics there with the splash. Very nice. Yeah, if you see... Or oh, does he just start the second starport after? Yeah, okay. All right, just some interesting how he's ordering the build a little bit. Dude, HM is crushing with these mutas, by the way. He is absolutely crushing with these mutas. He is getting so many kills at the moment. And obviously not, he should have +1 by now. So that would help a little bit, but still very, very good micro. The Lurker upgrade is on the way. Hive is on the way as well. Has that evolution chamber, hasn't started the upgrades in it quite yet. I'll actually be interested to see. I played a game against HM recently where his Mutalisk micro looked like this, and I lost a lot of Marines. And he made a lot of Lurkers and just brought them over to my base, which is an older meta from like a year ago. But I think in any situation like this, it can be really, really good. Your opponent isn't making siege tanks. Like if you just burrow like 6 Lurkers here, you win. So I wonder if he's going to try something like that. It doesn't seem it, because I don't see him making a bunch of Hydras. Okay, so Irradiate on the way. Shuffling out a couple of the very hurt Mutalisks. No additional upgrade. Doesn't feel like the greatest game from Rush, but I don't know that that's fair to just how good this Mutalisk control has been as well. You know, it's a 2-player game. Can't do it without your opponent. So, like, I do think part of it is, like, HM is having some out of his mind Mutalisk control. But yeah, it does feel like not the greatest Rush game so far. He's definitely getting pretty far behind right now. He does have more supply. He does have more workers. He has... Okay, there you go. That's a very good irradiate. The game is certainly by no means over. I'm just saying that, you know, it doesn't feel like Rush has done super well as of yet. This is his first real foray out of his base. So that happens sometimes. And he actually did make a good clump of lurkers, but didn't quite bring them up forward. Maybe he was thinking about it, but Rush just broke out with a bit too much. Only 2 lurkers here. That's killable for this. 2 dropships on the way. I am interested about those dropships. So this is the moment that Rush might be able to do something. Okay, he ends up killing both, but there's enough mutas with the sunken that he actually just barely has to back up. More Marines are stimming down. Now, it's only 2 lurkers again, but he is going to have a Nidus. Oh, he has the Nidus. You might need to bring another lurker over. This is only 2 lurkers. Okay, he did get 1 lurker irradiated before the Overlord got over it, so that was nice. Kind of scanning ahead, getting that set up. Okay, so he's not going to be able to get in there. Now, there are 2 dropships, and here they are. Dropship play recently hasn't done that well. The timing that people have of having Lings, Scourge, and Mutas in their... and Lings and Lurkers and just everything in their main base to stop this has become pretty brutal. And you can see 2 Scourge here. Is he going to radiate him? Yeah. So he does end up dropping off here. And this is like the least I've seen in a base against a drop in a bit. So HM may be thrown a little bit off by the amount of pressure that Rush was able to put on the last couple of minutes here. Okay, he actually gets reasonably good lurker spines. That was good targeting. Still going to lose a few drones since he doesn't have really anything else in here. Oh my god. Darkstorm goes down at the natural, and there are a couple lurkers under it. So not too much Rush can do there. Oh! Okay, so that gets held. These 2 Marines are still here, but he definitely can get rid of those. And HM is taking a 4th base during all this. So Rush has actually done pretty darn well. The 2 dropships did more than I was anticipating up there, although not critical damage. Got some drones. It did allow him to do a little bit over here as well. He got rid of that Nidus. Didn't he? Yeah, I believe he did. Yeah, this is a remade Nidus. Got some good irradiate sound. Oh my god, he could actually push right now. And he doesn't realize. Damn. It was a perfect little window. 3rd base being started. Continual production. Really, really good supply here. We're right on the brink of being broken. Something that I'm sure you guys must remember, but I haven't mentioned it for a while because we haven't had games that look like this. Okay, yeah. I was pointing to the supply. He's at 73. Zerg holds on with Defiler at 70 supply. As soon as they drop below 70, they're basically dead. It's like, it's a rule just of SK Terran against Defiler tech. And you can see he got in here, started killing stuff, and HM just left. I gotta say, it felt like HM outplayed Rush in the earlier portion of the game. Having only 2 lurkers here was an error. 1 more lurker would have been superb. And when the attack came up here, I think because of the seesaw of pressure, when the drop came up here, he wasn't quite ready. There was only 2 Scourge. Normally what happens is you have a group of Lings in here as well. So if he starts to unload, you just send the Lings and they kill everything as they come out one by one. So anyways, you know, Rush is able to beat HM there. Some good multi-pronged pressure. Well, actually, it wasn't multi-pronged. It was just a rotating pressure. but well done. GG, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.